Well, it looks like P. Diddy Do It got a burn notice. I told you that he is an agent, and we're all starting to see that now. Looks like he got a burn notice. A burn notice is when an agent is disavowed and disowned by their controlling agency. It's called a burn notice, and that looks like that's what he got, because now CNN is putting out the footage of him. It's so hard to censor myself here for YouTube, but it looks like there's a video in a hotel with him and Cassie, and it is not good for Diddy. You guys have probably already seen the video, so you got to ask the question: why is CNN now dropping this video? They don't ever tell anybody the truth about anything. They covered up the Biden laptop. They ignored the story of Clinton, Hillary Clinton's server, when she was with the State Department. They're the absolute worst. They are the CIA news network is what they really are. The Clinton news network. Now suddenly they're on the cutting edge of journalism. They've got this video of P. Diddy doing some horrible things to Cassie. So what's going on here? That's what it looks like. So at first, what was going on was, Diddy put out a statement, oh, these are all untrue. It's just people looking for a payout and all this kind of stuff. And now the leaking is starting to happen. They're going to watch. I think what's going to happen now is more stuff will start coming out, and then it looks like Diddy the Pawn is being sacrificed on the chessboard here. I'm very curious as to what happens next. All I'm going to say about this is there are some very powerful people that would like to see him disappear. And it's weird to me that it hasn't been picked up yet. It's weird that the reports are that he was flying in a jet and that stopped in Miami. I'm wondering if he was trying to get out of the country, because it's also looked like he was tipped off. I'm wondering if he tried to get out of the country, but the FAA would not give him a clearance out of the ADIZ, the Air Defense Identification Zone. Wouldn't give him a clearance to get out of U.S. airspace. That's what it's kind of looking like to me. But anyway, this guy, he's not in jail. He's just hanging out, and I've seen this movie before. Go check out Barry Seal, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But so here I have a video from an awesome YouTuber, Melanie K. And another thing we're going to do today, we're on the cutting edge of innovation. What we're going to do is we're going to do the reaction to the reaction video. So we're going to let Melanie K take this over, and then we're going to do an analysis after this video. Someone has sent this to me, so let's go check it out.
And one of the questions that people are asking, or I've heard people saying, and I've even asked this in my previous video when I showed the footage. I'm not going to show this here again today because it actually got, I think it's getting age censored on my channel, but I wanted to bring that footage. But one of the questions that a lot of people have is, can Diddy go to prison for this? Can he actually go to jail? And a lot of people are also wondering why this footage is just now coming out. So I'm going to play the part about, whether he can go to prison or not, whether he can still be charged. Now, this is based in LA, in California. So we have to go by California statutes. And then we're going to answer the other question, about why is this coming out just now?
Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. Now, that Instagram post from Diddy was back in December. That was not in relation directly to Cassie. It was referencing many of these allegations and lawsuits that he faces. Now, I have reached out to Diddy's team. We have not heard back from them today. But, Jake, I do want to point out there was a settlement deal between Diddy and Cassie. So neither of them can speak. But, again, we're still waiting to hear back from his team. Now, a really great point that you brought up top, Jake, was what is going on in Diddy's world, right? We've all all heard stories of Hollywood enablers and enablers in circles around powerful people. But something that I want to point out, Diddy is one of the most powerful people in music history. He is a mogul. We have not seen any support in Hollywood. All of his famous friends, since these allegations came forward, we have not seen anyone come to his defense. And that silence is very loud, Jake.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
And actually, we're going to do this in reverse. So I said, why is this footage just coming out now? And it's surprising that CNN, of all places, are talking about enablers and handlers in Hollywood, where, you know, they basically are part of the enabling and handling circle when it comes to the elites. But this is what is believed, that Diddy actually purchased this footage from the hotel in 2016 for $50,000. He was able to buy this footage. And I believe this is why, you know, all of this time, Cassie has not had any type of evidence. But we also know that he's very powerful, that a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't she just leave? Well, you saw there, she was trying to leave the situation, and Diddy just went after her. And I believe in this case is why a lot of people have not spoken up about Diddy. Grown men have not spoken up about what Diddy has done. Even Kid Cudi, who confirmed that he blew up his car, did not speak out. People were afraid. Now imagine being Cassie, being very afraid of him, and because it wasn't just him, he had protection, guys. He had layers of protection with the Hollywood elites. And so, but now with his enablers, and no one's coming out to his defense, as CNN has said, well, that lets you know that they've thrown Diddy away. Like, he's basically of no use to them anymore. For some reason, he's angered people, or I don't know, maybe because Cassie brought up this lawsuit and then it kind of snowballed, and all these other lawsuits is saying we just can't deal with him anymore. But no one has spoken up. All these people that is supposed to love him, and his name is Love, and all these other things. This is why I believe this footage is coming out. Cassie never had any evidence of these things. And even if she went to the police and she had bruising and beatings and all this other stuff, we don't know who's been paid off. We don't know how, you know, he has high-powered attorneys, how he'd be able to get out of that. This really is a no-win situation for somebody stuck with Diddy. And it's pretty scary to think he may even have blackmailed her with evidence of other things that he was going to put out there to destroy her life if she tried to do this. So let's continue with this so we can now get to the part with, can he be charged with a crime?
With Wagmeister, thank you so much. Incredible work by the LA Bureau. Let's discuss this with CNN's John Miller and Julie K. Brown, a Miami Herald investigative journalist who's been following this story. Also best known perhaps for her work pursuing the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking story. So John, Cassie filed her lawsuit in November. The feds raided Diddy's home in March. Now we see this awful video, which is more than 8 years old. And yet Diddy has still not been charged with anything. I would think there would be grounds for his arrest in that video. Why hasn't he been charged with anything?
Well, the video is out of the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations in California for a simple assault is a year. For domestic violence assault, it was 3 years. They've moved that up to 5 years. But this is out of range for a state charge in California. However, let's get back to that federal investigation. What HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, is doing, as Elizabeth framed it, is they are building a racketeering case, a RICO case based on human trafficking and allegations startlingly similar that track those that have been made in Cassie Ventura's lawsuit and in the lawsuit by another individual who worked for Combs, that tell these stories of people being brought in the presence of weapons and drugs and so on. It's very much like what they did in the R. Kelly case, which got him 30 years in prison. So this charge, even though it's state crime is out of the statute of limitations, would be fair game in that federal case.
Julie, Cassie.
So as you can see, my mic is slowly drifting away from me. So, of course, he cannot be charged in LA. He cannot be charged in California for this specific crime because of the statute of limitations. But again, because if it's part of a RICO, it can go back as far as they want to tie him together for this sex trafficking and can be part of it. Now, one interesting point as well, just because Cassie cannot speak out civilly about what happened, if she is called as a witness into a criminal trial, she can speak out. So if she is part of a being on the witness list when the feds actually bring charges against Diddy, which I think we're all pretty positive at this point that's what's going to happen. She can speak out and detail these things, and any evidence that's collected or anything, even Kid Cudi, there's like anybody, any allegations that have been brought against him and there's a witness to it, they will be brought into a trial, and it's going to be pretty scary for Diddy. I mean, he already knows this, but I just find it interesting that he has this whole time, you know, if you go, I'm going to do another video with like going to his social media and the things he's been saying, even 50 Cent reacting. Guys, if you know 50 Cent, he's had his foot on his neck. He can't stand Diddy. But if you see, you know, what he's been doing, he's been saying the allegations aren't true and absolutely not and all these other things, but it's just weird to me. And then there's even people who are supposed to be of clergy that are involved in this, like TD Jakes is a friend of his, but you don't hear him speaking out. Now, people have said he's part of Diddy's cabal, that he is, you know, he's one of his, that they have some type of sexual relationship, that, you know, he's on the DL, the down low. And so you don't hear of anyone speaking out against him. I don't hear of any clergy. I don't hear of anybody that's supposed to be a leader coming against this. A lot of the voices are from Me Too and all of that. Where are all these people? So this is telling me that this goes far and wide, what is happening to Diddy. And I'm wondering, if he goes down, is he going to bring everyone down with him? And if he ends up having to do time like R. Kelly or like Jeffrey Epstein was going to have to do, will he end up self-deleting or supposedly self-deleting, because we know that they can get to him? But let's continue.
Cassie's lawsuit claims that hotel security staff saw what was happening on surveillance and they urged her to go home. The lawsuit then claims that Diddy paid $50,000 to get that footage from hallway security. CNN has reached out to the hotel for comment, not a hotel I'll ever want to stay at. How serious would it be if they witnessed an assault, did not report it, and then accepted money to basically disappear the security footage?
Well, there's certainly a question of negligence on the hotel's part. And by the way, this just didn't happen in a hotel in LA. These kinds of incidents have been happening in hotels in Manhattan and in Miami Beach as well. So there presumably could be other video out there. And in addition, a couple of the other lawsuits that have been filed against him allege that that there is video evidence. And that is exactly what authorities were trying to get their hands on when they conducted their searches of his homes in Miami Beach and in California and LA.
John, assuming that charged, how important might this video be?
Well, it's going to be very important to
You're going to show us the video, but first,
him alleged and in
Diddy is eventually charged. How important might this video be?
Well, it's going to be very important to the assault charge. It's going to be very important to the credibility of Cassie Ventura as a witness. Remember, when she brought that lawsuit, Ben Brafman, Combs's lawyer, called it baseless, outrageous lies from somebody looking for a payday, claimed that she had tried to blackmail them, that she demanded $30 million. That video is stunningly supportive of her credibility, of her allegations. It unfolds exactly as she charged it did in her lawsuit. So it will help her if she becomes a witness in that case, and it will probably be a chargeable offense in the federal case if and when it comes.
Julie, the allegations against Diddy go far beyond Cassie's story, of course. Multiple lawsuits filed in the past year claim that Diddy hosted what he called freak-offs, sex parties so brutal that the young men and women would sometimes vomit and pass out from being drugged. They would be beaten. They would be raped. They alleged that Diddy filmed it and directed his staff to change lighting or bedding to better display the people who were performing for him sexually. These are allegations. Does this remind you at all of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case? And how did they get away with it?
Well, remember, the Jeffrey Epstein case happened decades ago, so they didn't have cell phones, for example, or this kind of recording technology. So we're far ahead of that in this. And even though they have some of that material, I'm sure what they're also going to look for is bank accounts, evidence that he paid people, including people that provided him with underage victims. And that's really the key here, is whether they're going to be able to show that he also was engaged with sex trafficking minors, which is a very far more serious crime because of, their age, and also the fact that he has all this, other video evidence that he was allegedly committing these kinds of offenses.
Julie K. Brown and John Miller, thanks to both of you.
So there you have it. Now he can't be charged again. He could be charged part of the RICO case, but then he can also get an additional assault and battery charge for what happened there. And there were actually multiple charges. When when you get charged with a crime, they don't just give you one thing. It's going to be just in that footage alone. There are multiple crimes that he can be charged with when it comes to the federal statute. So I think we know that this is the end for Diddy. What I want to see is who else is going to fall with this. Okay. We know there's, he's been out and about in Hollywood, in my entire lifetime, and he's been one of the elites. And so I would be interested to see if he fights back with any footage that he has, but then if he'd be scared to do that because they'll bring out more footage of him. But at that point, if it's over for him, it's over for him. But guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Earn notice. That's what I'm seeing. At first, everything was quiet, and now we're going to start seeing the stuff leaking out that's detrimental to Diddy. Man, oh man, this is going to get crazy. It's going to be interesting. She's absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if he starts leaking his own stuff. Think about this for a second. That footage is what P. Diddy bought from the hotel. It was his, and somehow CNN gets it. How does that happen? Homeland Security grab all that stuff and now leaking it? Is that Rodney Jones? Where did this video come from? He supposedly bought it, and now it's out there. Real fishy. Another thing too, Cassie Ventura is very lucky to be with the living. His other ex, Kim Porter, passed away. She passed away at about 46 years old, with CIA guys floating around that same day. This is, okay, so you see CNN reporting on this stuff, but they're not like really reporting it. You're probably getting more reporting from YouTube people, citizen journalists, than you're getting from these guys. The fact that they are putting the story out at all is highly suspicious. The CIA News Network is usually not the place to go for news. Now suddenly they're breaking this. They're breaking a video that was supposedly in P. Diddy's possession. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to see what happens. This is very interesting. This is almost like he's being set up. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's being set up for a very big fall. We will see you on the next Ultra Top Secret. If you're still here, I hope that I have earned your subscription and a like, and we'll see you on the next Ultra Top Secret. Thank you.